Hi guys, my name is Liveradinithi and welcome back to my channel. Okay, you saw how long this video is, and dear lord, can I go on about a book, author books? So I'm going to keep this very short. In this vlog, I'm going to read The Houseofskyandbreath and The House of Earth and Blood and The Houseofskyandbreath. These are like the two books of the CrescentCity series by Sarah J. Maas. They're very thick books, and I have a lot of thoughts on both of them. I'm gonna put timestamps for like each book, so if you want to skip this and just jump straight into this, you can. This is gonna be spoilers. I wanted to do a spoiler-free review at the beginning, but the vlog is already way too long, so just watch somebody else's video if you want a spoiler-free video. But this will have spoilers because there's a lot to say and I can't discuss the book without talking about this, like what's going on in the book, right? So that is it. I hope you enjoyed this video and I will see you with the outro, I guess. Right, so there's a power cut now. We have, I think, it's not as bad as it used to be. It's not like 7 hours straight, it's just 2 hours and there's an hour and a half to go. And it's fucking hot. So I'm right by the window so that I can get some wind. And I'm going to read this. I'm like 3 chapters in. This is what I need right now. I need something brainless and trashy, because I don't have the headspace to appreciate a good book. So here's the thing, right? When you think of wolves, and there's this line that said there would never be any mistaking them for humans, though their forms were nearly identical. So when I first read that, I assumed what she meant was because they're wolves, they would be more animalistic and not what I read after that. It's like too tall, too muscled, too still. Even the way they tore into their pizzas, each movement deliberate and graceful. When have wolves ever been graceful? But it's Sarah J. Maas, I should have known. She's the only one who can actually make it sound like wolves eat gracefully. I know she's trying really hard to make me sympathize with or make me like Danica and these wolves, because I know what happens. I read like 10 chapters before I put this down to start something else, so I know what happens. I know they get killed, so it's just it's not working, you know. You're trying to force it down my throat that I have to like these people. I just don't. Okay, back with a reading update. I read about 150 pages, yeah, and I'm gonna say the good things first because there's a lot of bad stuff. I know what I'm getting myself into when I'm reading it, but my god, I like reading it because I like her writing. It's nice, like it's easy to read. It's just following these characters day in the life. it's fine. I mean, I don't really like Danica. This is not a spoiler, like it's literally in the back of the book. She dies, she's a wolf, and the pack dies with her, or they get killed. And they set up the friendship of like Danica and Bryce, who's the main character, in like, I don't know, a couple of chapters, which is not enough time for me to care about this person, or even like the main characters. So like, I don't feel her pain, at least not yet. I feel sad as like if I'm hearing about like two strangers, and if I'm getting to know that okay, one of them dies and the other one is sad, I would feel sympathy for them, but I'm not gonna. It's different when you actually care about somebody, right? So it's just not there yet, and I think it was way too quick, and it was very poorly developed, the friendship. But I guess, I mean, like, come on, you're writing about like, you're writing a 700-page book, so I hope and I pray that that friendship is developed in retrospect. I don't know, we'll see. But that is that. And then also Hunt, don't give a fuck. I hate these males who have giant muscles and big broad chests, and how like golden brown skin, and how like they're so beautiful and so tragic, you know, like they're centuries old and they haven't had sex in such a long time since their like mate or like lover died, and they're horny all the time, and everybody fears them because Hunt is called the Shadow of Death, but then he's the complete opposite of that definition, because every time we interact with him is when he's around Bryce, and he seems fine, honestly. It doesn't seem like the Shadow of Death or whatever. And then you have Bryce, who is just I'm not like other girls, and somebody who's just so into drugs and so cool, and that's her entire personality, being an alcoholic and a drug addict whose friend just happened to die, at least for now, because I had a conversation with Dinosh, and he said that it gets better. So I'm trusting him. Honestly, like these books, you can literally read the first line and the last line of a chapter and understand the book. The only thing is that I do want to pick up this book, which is a good sign. I'm not bored, right? When I'm reading it, it's like watching a rom-com, I would say. Just, you know, you're just following this story. There's nothing more to it, and I don't mind it. Yeah. I do like Rune. Yeah, the brother. I think they pretend that Bryce is his cousin, but they're actually siblings. So I do like Rune. He's only showed up like a couple of times, and I'm reading his chapter now, which is it's not bad. I like it. And I also like, what's his name? Isaiah. I like characters who are very grounded, and Isaiah is very grounded. So I hope he's there for the long run. Can Hunt just stop being such an asshole? Hunt can honestly go suck a dick. I don't care. What the fuck is wrong with him? Like, and also just the way she describes males, like striking. That was the only word Bryce could think of to describe his handsome face, full of powerful lines and sharp cheekbones. What are powerful lines? and these lines, right? You can make this investigation easy, or you can make it hard. It's like the definition of white boy masculinity. And he's golden brown. He's not even white. I don't know. Brown people don't talk like that. I don't like Hunt at all. Bryce is, I don't know if it's because of what Ino said, but she's kind of growing on me. I don't find her as annoying. I don't care about her right now, but she's not as annoying as she was in the beginning. It felt very off, but she's okay now. I mean, she's not really doing anything, so maybe that's why. Yeah, so I don't really I'm not a fan of this weird banter, and I'm certainly not a fan of Hunt just being such a creep. Hi guys, it is the next day. Well, it's night, don't know the time. I've been reading this book all day and I wanted to give you an update, but I wasn't feeling it. But this book is so long. It is unnecessarily long. There are scenes that serve no purpose at all. You're not developing your characters, you're not developing the plot or the world. The world is basically just exists for this romance to blossom. Okay, this is not a magical world. This is very Sarah J. Maas. Same with Akata. You know, you don't really get anything out of this. What was that, Prithian? And this is Lunathian or something like that. But I do like the story. It's fine. I mean, I don't really care about this murder investigation that's happening, because honestly, a murder happens, then you just like go around, you talk to people, you come up with theories, and then another murder happens. Like basically until these murders happen, because you don't want to like put them all in the same chapter. So she spreads them out and then puts like random stuff in the middle, just to make this book longer. It doesn't make sense, a lot of these scenes that they're having in between these murders, because it's fun to read, but it doesn't make for a good book, right? I would recommend this if you want to just escape into a world where like there are just just easy, fun characters, you know, like they're all perfect. You don't have to worry about them. They're all gonna survive. They're all like handsome and like godlike and powerful. There's nothing. They're flawless. They're flawed, but they're flawless. So you don't have to worry about them. They're gonna survive because there's literally nothing that they can't do. You know, like Bryce is just like this gorgeous this gorgeous, sexy woman that, like, you know, in like a sea of people in the town, like you only have eyes for her because she's that beautiful. Not only that, right, she loves to paint her nails, she loves to do all these things, but she also likes guns, and for some reason she can shoot them well too, because of course, you know, there's nothing that Bryce can't do. So she's like perfect. And then of course you have like the other half, Hunt, who is just as handsome, just as equally perfect as Bryce, which is why I'm pretty sure they're gonna be mates. I mean, they haven't really used the word mate yet, but I mean, we all know that's where he's going. So if you want to read about characters who have no stakes, so that means that you don't really have to worry about them, pick this book up because it's fun. It's fun and it's kind of freeing, I would say, because you're not worried about them. You're just enjoying. You're just here for the ride, and that's what I'm doing, and it's fine. If I didn't spend money on this book and the second one, I would probably DNF this because I just don't care. But since I did and I'm making this vlog, I am going to continue. I would still say from all the Sarah J Maas books I've read, Court of Mist and Fury is still my favorite. It's the only one that felt like a real story. Sorry for all the people who like this book. I'm trying to find good things to say about it. So Court of Mist and Fury is my first, I would say, and Silver Flames is second because it was very self-aware. You know, like it's like Sarah J Maas, she realized what she's good at and she went with it. You know, there was no plot, it was all smut, and it's great. I enjoyed it because she can write smut, she can write steamy, sexy scenes very well. Sometimes it's funny when they're just, you know, snarling and roaring, but it was fun. I liked it. And I would say this will be like my third favorite so far. It's not like Court of Wings and Ruin, you know, where like it is my least favorite, where like literally nothing's happening. You're just like, you're staring at words and nothing's happening. I think Lehaba is a really good character. I love her scenes. She's really fun and she's very honest and straightforward and just so innocent, and but also very scary because she has this library full of like animals who nobody knows if this is true or not, but they say that she's turned them into animals. And then you have Rune, who is Bryce's half brother. I like his motivations for wanting to help Bryce and Hunt find this horn. I think in Akata it was some cauldron or something that they were looking for, some shit like that. I mean, the story is very similar. You're just you're just on a quest, trying to find something, and of course Hunt has to move in with Bryce, because why not, you know? It's let's create these very unnecessary scenes just so they can be together and get to know each other. And honestly, someone who really seems to hate Hunt's guts and everything about him, she's very open-minded and very inviting. Yeah, I'm at this scene where like she showed everybody at the, what is this, like the 33rd, how to shoot a gun. Like girls can shoot guns, you know. It's very cool. Oh my god. Okay. Hunt is feeling things, which it's also like weird. And also one other thing, right? Now this Hunt person is like, I think I mentioned this earlier as well, how he's known to be this like shadow of death and the Umbra Mortis or whatever, and everybody fears him, but you only get like very few scenes, and they're not even that I would say horrifying or harrowing for him to get this name. It's a little exaggerated, like his trauma, and you know, it's like, oh, he hates doing it, but he has to do it because he's enslaved and he needs to he has this deal with Micah. But anyway, my point is like the stuff that he does is they set it up very as if like this is like one of the he's such a scary person, but it's honestly I don't feel it. I've read people like Dara from the Deva trilogy, and he's called the Scourge of Quasi for a very, very good reason, and you see it, right? He actually carries a scourge, so that in itself, it's such a brutal way of killing somebody or of torturing somebody, and he's massacred entire cities, and it's very scary, but he has earned that name. He's earned the right to be scary and for people to fear him over centuries. But Hunt is just a hired gun, honestly, nothing more. And I get that he's enslaved, so it's not really up to him, which is that part, yeah, I wouldn't want that on anybody. But as a character and everything, like he doesn't have to be this person that everybody fears, you know. That's not really, it doesn't really do anything for his character. And even Bryce herself says that why is Hunt called the Shadow of Death? He's very calm, he's very chill. So yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, maybe there's something more in the book as it goes along, but yeah. So far what I've gathered is, because this murder investigation is not going anywhere, they keep going back to like square one. Talk about this horn, which again, it's just theories. And then you have a lot of Hunt and Bryce banter, which we get it. Okay, you don't need to do this every chapter. I'm gonna continue reading, and I'm also reading like The Shadow of the Gods, but for some reason I just want to read this and not that book. That book is actually good, you know, it's a good fantasy, but somehow I just keep coming back to this book, which is just I'm waiting for the smart. Honestly, I just want Hunt and Bryce to just do it, you know, and get on with it, because it's been 350 pages and you still haven't done anything. Stick to your skills, you're really good at it, you know, just write smart. I will read 700 pages of smart, okay, because she does it well. This book is very self-aware, and I have to appreciate that, because I told you about this guns thing happening, and then Bryce is like, someone died while we were digging around tonight. Yeah, because you don't really do anything, you're just waiting for like a murder to happen, for something to like spark, and then you just go see the murder, and for like a few days you investigate it, and then you just forget about it until someone else dies. Because that's what you do. Oh my god. And then of course Hunt has to make her feel better, and he's like, this guilt isn't on you, it's on whoever is doing this. People like him butchering in the night. Like, calm down, bro, okay? Like, you're not butchering people, you're just shooting them. You can't claim to be this frightening person if you're not doing it. John Wayne Gacy is like very disappointed. This technology, it's urban fantasy, right? Crescent City is urban fantasy, so you have urban life happening. It's like they're living in it, like they're using phones, they're using the internet or whatever they call it. I'm not liking it, especially because, like I mentioned, like the world building is like really bad, so nothing is explained, it's just described. This is there, and that's basically what you're getting, because in my mind it's more like, okay, whatever you need for Bryce and Hunt to be in that setting, she describes it, and that's honestly it. So within that world, this technology doesn't really, I'm not a fan of it. I prefer the Akata world. I prefer Prithian, you know. It's not well built either, but at least it worked for Faye. so and it kind of takes me out of the story every time she pulls out her phone, drawing up the map of the city. Like, I'm not a fan of it. It's not done well here, so, at least not enough for me to enjoy it. Because if you read N.K. Jemisin's The City We Became, that was a really good that was a really good story where even if you're not living in New York, everything about New York is like, that's the entire story. And that was like it was very fantastical. Like New York basically comes to life, and all the boroughs are different people. And I mean, it's just a whole story, but that is a story. That's a good story where it worked for that context, for that plot, and you were immediately put into it without any previous knowledge, and it just works because the writing is so good, because the plot is so well thought out. But here it's just, it doesn't work. Of course, like Bryce is the one who has to point out the obvious, and nobody else gets it because, you know, they're cops. Who cares about that? They're not trained, they're not experienced like this amateur individual, but she's smarter than all of them, and the only other person who gets what she's saying, or like what she's pointing out to these stupid cops, is Hunt, because because you can't have a Bryce be smarter than Hunt, or Hunt be smarter than Bryce. Even they're equals. I think they say that in like the other pages. Oh yeah, you know, us, like they were a unit against this fucking mess of a world. Like Jesus, okay. This is like so on the nose. Okay, tell me how you can read this line and not laugh or cringe. So she went and knocked on his door, and he opened it, and he's shirtless. It's like muscles upon muscles upon muscles, all covered by golden brown skin that glowed in the first lights. It was outrageous. She'd seen him shirtless before, but she hadn't noticed, not like this. First of all, like, what exactly do you mean by muscles upon muscles upon muscles? Like, if I have to hear the word muscles again, I'm gonna fucking kill myself. Like, I don't even know how that would be attractive on anybody. Okay, not just a guy. Just imagine a human being with 3 layers of muscles. If anybody watching this, if you guys find this attractive, just explain to me what this line means. Maybe I'm interpreting it wrong, because I'm just imagining like pecs and a 6-pack and then times 3 on one body. So this is why I like Road. You know, he's normal. Like fuck, how many partners had he never called again? Not because the sex had been bad, but because the sounds they made had been unbearable. Like, I like how Sarah J. Maas is like very self-aware of all the noises these fae make in bed, and she gives it to a character who actually doesn't like it. And yeah, I do like Roon. I like him a lot. It's actually like, I'm looking forward to his chapters, because Bryce and Hunt are just, oh my god. Like, why is there miscommunication about their feelings for each other? You know, like, and out of nowhere, Hunt brings up this dead person that he used to be in love with. Like, doesn't mention her at all, not once, and keeps giving, I don't know, this sexy stares at, what's her face, Bryce. And then suddenly he brings up this Shara or whatever, and of course, like, Bryce is gonna be like taken aback, like, what the fuck, what are you talking about? You've been giving me all these signals like for a long time. And then after that, you go to his perspective, and he's just ogling at Bryce and how sexy she is. Did she write these chapters with, like, I don't know, a year apart? Did she forget that he mentioned this? Or like, what is he doing? Is he lying to her? I don't know. It makes no sense. It's like I'm reading about 2 characters. Morning, guys. I have been reading for like the past few hours since I woke up. I'm on page 518. There's much left. And now and now Hunt is being bathed and soaked by Farah. I said Farah. That's how much I can't distinguish the characters. Okay, Farah and Bryce are the exact same thing. Anyway, Bryce, he's being bathed and showered and tucked into bed by Bryce because even though he went on a killing spree and came home all bloodied up, you have to forgive him. But she's not. She's awfully chill, which is very concerning about the fact that he just comes home from killing a lot of people, and all she can think about is like, oh, we need to forgive him because it's not her fault. It's not his fault. He didn't do it. He was ordered to do it. So everything's dandy. Let's take a shower and talk about our pain. I did have like an interesting conversation about this with, regarding this part, which is because it has a very similar, the context is very similar to the Devabad trilogy, but I don't want to spoil it because it's a major plot line, unlike this one. But in that book, those characters were handled really, really well, and S.A. Chakraborty managed to catch the essence of human relationships in terms of forgiving each other and how do you react to somebody who has committed these atrocious and heinous crimes, and your reaction to that, and whether or not you forgive them and how you forgive them, whatever. But here they just brush it off like it's nothing. So I'm not even gonna compare. It's ridiculous. But I'm gonna finish this. There's nothing else to say because I'm really sad that there's no smut. That's the other thing. I want to read Sarah J. Maas for the smut, and there's literally nothing except the one point when Hunt just gets off in the shower, I think, to Bryce, and is that it? I mean, you made me wait like 18 pages. This 500 pages could have been filled with smut, and I would have ate that shit up. But no, you decided to go on like a murder mystery route. I don't know who told you that was a good idea. See what I mean, right? So he's reminiscing about his past kills and what happened to him, because we obviously feel very sympathetic towards this killer. And he's saying there had been no one after that battle to wash away the blood and put him in bed. Are you kidding me? Bro, what? Would it have been better or worse to have known Bryce then? Aww. Okay. We're finally getting some smut. It's like, fucking god, it's like 5:90. Oh. Yeah. I'm excited for this part. I forgot how much that males talk in her books. I'm gonna fuck you until you can't remember your God's damn name. Don't think I've forgotten this particular asset. I have plans for this beautiful ass. Ugh. It's cringe, okay? Just don't talk. I don't like it when men talk. Like, oh my lord, is this book ever gonna end? We got 3 pages of smut and we're back to the same. I feel like I cursed too much in this video. Same stuff. Okay, it's miscommunication, misunderstanding, regret and pain, and hearts being ripped off, metaphorically. I mean, also like this Danica's thing. Who didn't see that coming, right? It's like the most obvious thing ever. Well, I mean, I don't even care about that, honestly. And it's still going. It's still going. ending, okay? I'm listening to it as well because I just can't physically read it. I'm gonna fall asleep. Yeah, Bryce was running to help Hunt and I fell asleep. So I have to read that chapter again. Why is this very familiar, you know? Why is this giving me Farah running to save Crescent, and then some bond is broken, I think, in Mist and Fury, is it? Yeah, I'm not kidding. There are lines here that I swear to you I have seen in her other books, you know? Her throat bobbed. She might have been furious at him for lying, but she lied plenty to him as well. I'm pretty sure I've read them before in her books. It's like a direct copy and paste. Because why not, right? I mean, you're basically writing about Greece and Farah again. You might as well use those lines too. And I don't like this trope where, oh no, have to go save my man now because he got dragged away. And like the one time they have said something has to happen and we go back to the yearning again, you know. Now it's about forgiving. It's not about the burn anymore. It's about forgiving each other for their lies. They did it to protect each other. I'm trashing this book so much, I don't know if I'm going to keep all these clips in. I honestly have nothing good to say. I'm trying so hard. Oh, okay, I can say I like Rune a lot. Especially when he tried to stop Bryce from being stupid. I like that part, and he did it unapologetically. I really like that about his character. Like, he's very like, he does a lot of things for Bryce and he's very patient with her. Apparently like something went down with them. I would like to know more about that scene, which I'm not getting. So it's very hard for me to say that it was like a very serious or like some big shit went down where like they had to walk away, because from what I read, it's honestly not a big deal. I don't know why they fell out like that after that scene. It's not that, it wasn't that serious. But I like his intentions, I like his motivations for helping Bryce and also keeping her safe. And I don't think she knows the full story. He doesn't have a lot, but I do like him. I honestly like Cassie and Anesta so much more, because they're very aware that all they do is dance with no pants, but they're very aware of it. You know, they're not trying to be anything else. But these two are like Sherlock Holmes and Mr. Big Dick, which is not a good pair. Anyway, I'm gonna finish this book because I honestly have nothing else to say. I just want this to end. This book is way too long. I've said that so many times, and I don't understand why the editors did not cut this down like 400 pages, you know, 300 pages, maximum 400 pages. It would have been fine. There's all the powerful beings gathered together in convening somewhere and watching this unfolds with Bryce and the villain, who clearly seems to have a lot of time on their hands to divulge all the information. It's just like, if you had just told me, if you had just put this chapter, you know, 10 chapters earlier, this story would have been over. Because like, you literally didn't do anything to come to this conclusion until the villain just literally walks into the library. And that's how you figure this out. So this is what you get when you put somebody like Bryce to investigate a murder. I don't get why villains would just divulge all this information out. You know, there could be cameras around. Why would you confess? It's ridiculous. And this villain is not, it wasn't developed well enough for me to actually think that, oh, this person has an ego complex that is so, like, they're so convinced that they won't get caught, so that's why they're doing it. None of that was established, so I don't get it. And that confession was way too long. Like, Bryce could have done so many things to get out of it. And everyone's just watching it like a live stream. I'm still not done with the book. I think I have like 10 chapters. I got bored, so I just went online and I wanted to see what the ratings for this book is. as in like I wanted to see what my friends thought about this book. What am I missing here? Why am I seeing so many 4 and 5 stars from like people who have like very similar taste to mine, and also people who review, like who read like really good books and have really good taste. So even Inosh has given it 5 stars, and he's the only one I can actually talk to because the other people are booktubers. So I was asking him why, and he said because he enjoyed it, he gave it 5 stars. The only person who has like the similar reaction to mine is Aisha. She said she didn't like it as much and she gave it 3 stars, and for me it's reading like a 3-star, and I don't think I can give it anything higher than that. 3-star, even 3 stars is it's a pity 3-star, right? I would say it's a 2-star. If I give it 2 stars, I'm going into like the second book with like very low expectations and just planning to hate it, and I don't want to do that. So that's honestly why I feel like I'm gonna give Earth and Blood 3 stars. I don't know. Like literally everybody has given 5 stars. 5 stars, 5 stars, 4 stars. Even Elias has given it 4 stars. I'm definitely missing something. I don't know. Anyway, I'm just gonna finish the book, or at least try to, because I'm going to watch Doctor Strange tomorrow with Melissa from Oh My Word Melly. She has a YouTube channel, and I've met her a couple of times. I'm really excited to meet her again because I hardly ever see her. So we're gonna see Doctor Strange, just have some fun, and I'm excited about that. So I kind of have to sleep early as well because it's an early show that we're going to, or like 11:30, and I normally wake up at 11:30, so I kind of have to go to bed. I did it, it's done. Oh thank God. Okay, I like the ending, but it didn't slap as it would have if I had read this ending 300 pages earlier. It's definitely 3 stars, and I'm not giving it a pity 3-star anymore, because I would give it 3 stars because of the ending. Like otherwise it would have been a pity 3 stars. So this book read like a 2-star honestly, but the ending kind of bumped it up, and I'm glad it did, because yeah, that something had to give. When I say ending, I mean the part where Bryce makes the drop with Danica, right? That's the only part that I enjoyed. Like I said, I wish it had come earlier because it would have been so great. I would have cried if I cried about these characters. It was such a lovely scene. It was written really well, but just the stakes weren't high enough, you know. Like she was perfect and powerful even before making the drop, and now she's like the most powerful being in the entire realm and all the other universes probably. Hunt is also powerful because, you know, they're both powerful. Sarah takes the definition of the power couple to a whole other level. Even the ending took way too long. I was like, even after the drop, even after everything that happened, it still kept going. With Hunt and Bryce, I don't care. Don't tell me more. You're not gonna convince me that these two are like good characters. Anyway, that is it. I have done the thing. I have finished House of Blood. I'm going to start, what is the other one, Sky and Breath, probably on Sunday, because tomorrow, like I said, I'm gonna watch the movie.
Because I was reading CrescentCity.
Okay.
Tell me your...
Wait, I haven't read CrescentCity yet. Have I? No, I haven't.
What do you think about like the Agatha series? Did you read it?
No, not yet. So it's like this, okay? People keep saying it's like fairy
It's fair, yeah.
porn.
Very far.
But the thing is, I bought all the books because I want to read it, but I never feel like picking it up. I don't know. I'm like,
I saw on your organization when you have all the books.
it feels like it's overhyped, and I'm like so scared because I know some people say like Court of Mist and Fury is what is the nicest out of it all.
That's the only good one.
So I'm like, why am I then putting myself through the other books? So I don't know, maybe I should read it.
It's
God
fun,
only knows. God only knows.
It's trash, but it's fun.
It's like I have read more smutty books. I'm wondering like will this let me down and stuff.
It probably will.
Yeah, then why should I read it?
But you should read it. And you should vlog it. You know, you'll have a lot to say because it pisses you off sometimes. It's so bad.
It's so bad. So if it's bad, why the hell are you making me read it? And hopefully, like, I don't know, maybe we'll do it as a buddy read someday.
I'm not really good at it.
Maybe not you, but like I'll get others to join me. I don't know, we'll see. Like, y'all are making me read so many things now. Y'all want me to start the Devabad trilogy, and then Inosh wants me to read Poppy. I'm like torn between.
Hi guys, I went to see Doctor Strange today with Melissa. I think you saw like some clips that I took while we were having some coffee. Doctor Strange was good. I enjoyed it. It was a good movie. It was an enjoyable movie. Like, it's very fun. The filmmaking is just, it's a spectacle, man. Like, I loved it. I love how all the VFX, and there's nothing to the story. I don't go to Marvel movies expecting a story. Not anymore, at least. I used to enjoy like the old ones like Captain America, and I still like Spider-Man. I think, yeah, I would say I really like No Way Home, which had a very grounded story, considering the fact that it was a multiverse plot. But Doctor Strange was it was very true to the title. It was just madness and chaos, and it was fun though. I was never bored with the story. It's just a lot happening, and I really like Wanda. I haven't even watched the TV show, but the acting was like really great, and I feel like she kind of stole the movie, and I'm not mad about it. She made the movie fun. Aside from that, that was fun. It was great to see Melissa again. Oh, we also met Laura from Laura Reads. She's on Instagram, and we have been talking. We talk about like Bridgerton quite at length, and we finally met, and it was nice to see her as well. So anyway, aside from the movie, there's something I really wanted to mention is that before and after the movie, like immediately my immediate thoughts went to Crescent City, and I was like, what? Like, I didn't enjoy this story. Like, you probably heard me trashing it. Like, I would still say I hate it, but I couldn't stop thinking about it, and I was pleasantly surprised. I was like, I want to read the book. I want to go home and pick up the next book because I kind of miss the characters, which is I don't know why. It's not like I care about them, but I would say it's the same as like watching the movie Doctor Strange. You know, it's not a good story. It's nothing moving or serious or anything. It's just fun, and I think it's the same way with Crescent City, where I just felt drawn to it. So I came home, and I picked up the second one, Houseofskyandbreath, and let's just admire this beautiful cover for a bit. I think this is like my favorite of the two. I really like this one because I like blue more than red. So this is like it's a beautiful blue. So yeah, it's very pretty. And so so I started the book in the afternoon, and about 66 pages in, but I did put it down for a bit because I went down this rabbit hole where I started to watch like reading vlogs for like Akata and Silver Flames, because now that I'm in this world again, I'm beginning to miss Nesta and Cassian, and I wish I don't know what the next Akata book is gonna be, but I know it's not gonna be about them, but I hope they'll be there because they're honestly like my favorite couple out of all these people, because Nesta especially felt like a normal person, somebody with depth and character. Cassian more so to do with because of what he looks like as opposed to his personality. Yeah. So I started this 66 pages in, and I have to say, after Bryce and Hunt got together, I was expecting this start off with the smut. At least, come on, like we've been waiting. We only had like a teeny tiny part in Crescent City for smut. Like, what is it? I thought this is like an adult book. Can we get to that part already? And didn't see that. And even here, there's nothing about Bryce and Hunt, because apparently they wanted to get to know each other, and they wanted to put sex off the table, because if they do that, then they're not gonna know each other. Like Bryce and Hunt drama I can't deal with. I'm already hating it. But I think I think it was chapter 3 or 4 when Rune started to like just go off. He's having fun. He's enjoying life. I feel like the weight has been shifted since Bryce became this all-powerful princess. Now he's like, okay, I don't have to deal with this royalty shit anymore. I can just live my life. So he's living it. He's living, and I'm all for it. I loved how they introduced Rune's character. That chapter, how it started, it was really fun, and that's what I want. Why am I not getting that? So Bryce and Hunt are like on this sex is off the limit. You can flirt, but you can't have sex because we're getting to know each other. And also, Sarah just randomly puts a line and says like, oh, Rune started to get to know their mother, who is, I think her name is Ember. You just like drop that. You don't show me how the relationship develops. Rune hasn't spoken to their mother because like Bryce and their mother lived somewhere else, and Rune lived in the palace, whatever. So they had like a very strange relationship, and now we get into this book and you just casually mentioned to me that, by the way, that relationship is okay now, like they fixed it. Why can't you just show me that? Why are you showing me Bryce and Hunt getting to know each other? Didn't they do that for like 700 pages last time? Anyway, I'm going to read and trying to focus on the good, and that is Rune is my character. I hope he has like some good stuff going on here. I don't know, but I'm gonna read it. It's weird because I hate it, but I like it. It's so this is the relationship I have with Sarah J. Maas. I hate that I like it. I hate that I'm enjoying it, but I can't figure out why either. Anywho, okay, I am back with Sky and Breath. I have read a lot. I think I was on like chapter 3 when I last updated, but yep, I've read up to like 450 pages, so I'm more than halfway, and that's good news, right? I'm reading this really fast. It's just as long as, if not more. I think this is like 800 pages. Yeah, the other one was like 700 something, but this is fast paced. Like, this book doesn't bother me, like this length. It's not a bad idea. I'm reading it really fast, and yeah, this human rebellion part is really interesting. I like what's happening on that side, but I wish it picked up, like I only have like another half of this book to go, and so far nothing's really happening except for the side missions that they're doing. It more or less ends in the same way, which is unsuccessful. So you're back to doing sharing information and trying it again. So you've been doing that they've been doing it for like a while now, so I wish it would pick up. Like, I really wouldn't have minded if she had written more about that and reduced like the Hunt and Bryce scenes, because I don't really, I'll get into that later. I actually made some notes, so it's just easier for me to keep track of what I'm feeling when I'm reading, because I don't always have the time to just pick up the camera, because I'm honestly not pausing the story, which is good. I'm not bored. It's happening. A lot of things are happening at the same time not happening. Like, none of this is very relevant to the plot. It doesn't do anything to progress the plot, but events are happening. I don't know, I mean, if you've read this, you might know what I'm talking about. So another good thing is that there are new characters introduced into the story. I don't have to suffer through Bryce and Hunt as much as I did in the first one, although I still feel like some of these scenes are like just very irrelevant, and they could have replaced so much of Hunt and Bryce, and this would have been a better story, which is sad to say because they're the two main characters and I can't get on board with them. I don't care about them. I love Rune. His story just keeps getting better and better. I honestly look forward to his chapters, and he has a bigger role to play in the story, and I hope he has a bigger role to play in the overall plot, because he's definitely my favorite character, which is not saying a lot because honestly he's the only character that I like. And I like the scenes he has with Daybright. It feels very human, and it feels very emotionally connected. Like the conversations they have this safe space where they can talk to each other and be vulnerable, be themselves without having anybody else know what they're doing. And for Rune especially, it's a very good way for us to see him for more than just Bryce's brother, or like the prince or the friend to Declan and Flynn. So there's a lot to him that comes out when he's alone, when he thinks that nobody can see him. So I really like that. And then of course we have Ethan. Ethan has like I didn't think Ethan would be a prevalent character, but he does seem to have a lot of stuff going on, and I don't know if they're building it up to a love triangle, because that would be really annoying, because I know Ethan has like very strong feelings towards Bryce, and sometimes it feels like you killed off Connor and now you're just like trying to build a love triangle with his brother, because Ethan is more or less acting the same way Connor did, you know. He's the romantic half, as opposed to Hunt being like the more physical and the brutish kind of man or male, whatever. So, and that's exactly what Connor was. And I don't like his part when it comes to Bryce. I like the scenes where he's with Therion, the mermaid. So their scenes are interesting, and I really like this last scene I read. It's where he has a conversation with this unknown wolf who is a mystic. Something for little Ethan to do. Right, so after 450 pages, those are the things that I like. Okay, so now let's talk about the things I absolutely hate, starting with Fury and Juniper. Where are they? I want more of them. Like, this is what I don't like with Sarah J. Maas. She introduces diverse characters, she introduces queer characters to the story just to tick off that criteria, and you hardly ever see them. You hardly ever see a sex scene between them. You hardly ever see them interact with other characters aside from the main character, and even that is very, very little. You hardly ever see them, and there's a big imbalance between the genders, right? Because you see so many male characters, starting from Declan, Flynn, Ethan, Cormac, Hunt, Rune. It's like 6 or 7 male characters, and you only have Bryce amongst all of them, right? You have Sabine popping up in very few chapters, and then you have Juniper and Fury just here and there. You see them, but for like a female author, I would think that you would include more female characters, and you would, because she can write really good female characters. I really like Nesta. Like, she actually put in a lot of effort to building up that personality and building her character, so she can do that, but for some reason she's just not doing that. She's way too focused on this unnecessarily long plot and very uninteresting plot that has to do with Bryce and Danica. Like, let's talk about Danica. Like, why is Danica still here? Why is she still part of this? Like, I really thought after the first book we're done with her. Like, I don't care about Danica and her secrets, and it also diminishes the fact that you make this whole thing about Bryce and Danica's friendship in the first book, only to reveal that, you know, it really didn't matter what happened in the first book, because Danica's like her own person. She had her own secrets, and she was like doing her own mission, and I don't know how that's gonna come into like the main plot, but it's ridiculous. Honestly, I'm not a fan of the fact that they keep bringing up Danica. This is not a character that you build up, you know, for her to have like such an important role in the story. And honestly, something I want to add to the male characters, right? Because you're reading so many male point of views, you're getting a lot of these dude talks, you know, like these flirty comments, these passing sarcastic comments. It's just like you hardly ever see real conversations happening. You know, like, that's why I'm saying, like, with Rune and Daybright, their conversation stood out to me so much, because there isn't anything else to balance it out, or this is nothing else to compare it to, because nobody else is having conversations like that except for like Ethan and the wolf chick. That was like only like a very few pages, but anyway, you know what I mean, right? So like, and also like Bryce and Hunt. Can Bryce have a proper conversation with somebody, please? Like, instead of these quippy remarks and these weird, like, stupid comments that she does, like these one-liners. I'm so sick of Sarah having to remind us that Bryce has a mouth on her, and every character seems to remind us that too every time we have a conversation, because of course, like, that's how Bryce is, right? She doesn't talk to people. All she does is these one-line. She sounds like Vin Diesel in Fast and Furious, and you know how, if you know that movie, you know how cringe and annoying it gets. So that's Bryce, and I don't like it. And then Hunt is just as equally uninteresting. He has no personality. Everything Hunt does can be sorted with a dildo. You don't need to exist in this world, honestly. So together, Hunt and Bryce's relationship is a clusterfuck, because in the first one, you had this back and forth banter, which again, wasn't a fan of. Didn't develop their relationship at all on any level. They weren't vulnerable to each other. They just had very few scenes where they talked about their past and just shared like tragic stories back and forth, and that was basically it. So now in the second one, I was really annoyed at first because there were no smut scenes, but honestly I'm taking it back, because the scenes that are in this book are very cringe, and I'm not a fan of, because they just talk way too much and it's not done well. Like, I don't know what happened, because the Silver Flames was like really good, and those scenes were really great. I don't know if because I cared about the characters, maybe I liked it more, but the scenes are really bad, right? So because of that, it frustrates me more that they're not focusing on the relationship, because the book started out with Hunt and Bryce putting like a pin on their sex life so that they can get to know each other, and that all went to shit after like 4 chapters. They were like, oh no, you know, we changed our mind, let's have sex, because we don't seem to have anything interesting to talk about. So they went back to that, and their relationship is not developed at all, because every time Bryce and Hunt have scenes together, it's leading up to a sex scene, which is just, you know how it goes, you know, you flirt a little and then you start making out, and those are the scenes that I've been reading when it comes to Bryce and Hunt, and they're all more or less the same. There's nothing to them. So because the scenes are not that good, I would much rather prefer if you had a conversation, had an emotionally intelligent conversation about your relationship, because they've already declared themselves as mates. But honestly, like, Reese and Farah had a better relationship, and that's saying something. And also another point to add is, because there's so much going on in this story, they really don't have time to develop their relationship either, right? So it's such a messed up plot, where like you spend so much time not doing anything and just having these very unnecessary scenes just to make the story longer. Now that there's a lot happening, you don't have time to build that relationship with Hunt and Bryce. So it's just, you missed your mark at the beginning when you didn't do that. So now it's just not happening, and it's so disappointing. I don't know if Rune is enough of a character for me to give this anything higher than a 2 stars, because I don't know if it's reading like that right now. But I'm gonna finish it. I honestly have nothing more to say, because there's nothing happening in the book. It requires a lot of discussion. So I'm gonna finish this maybe, or I mean, we'll see. I hope I still have like a bit more to go, and hopefully something happens at least at the end that can bump it up to a 3 stars. Yeah, but one good thing is, like, no matter what the plot is, there's still like stuff happening throughout the book that is keeping me entertained, and I use that word very lightly. Right, I'm gonna listen to the audiobook, and I'm going to make some dinner. put this down, I went to bed, and this morning I read a few, and I'm almost at the end. I only have like less than 100 pages to go, and they're about to go to the Fae Archives, which is, I feel like, which is where everything's gonna go down. So now before I get to that, so from what I read, like from the last update, a few things I noticed and I wanted to talk about is the characters in general and how their tone is, right? These people are, half of them are, not half, most of them are immortal, and I think all of them are immortal. They all sound the same, and they all sound like immature teenagers, and it's pissing me off so much, and it's such a disappointment when you have so many characters and you can do so much with them, and yet when you put them in a room together or when they're just having a conversation with anybody, like, this is not just Bryce and Hunt, okay? This is like Hypaxia, this is the Viper Queen, this is Cormac, Declan, Flynn, Ethan. They all sound like you're talking to a bunch of teenagers, and they're very immature in their ideas and what they talk about. You're really old, so surely like you would have had like a lot more experience than this, and you would be a lot more mature. And the biggest disappointment for me is the smut, and the smut is just wrong here. You're not doing a good job. Like, half the time I'm smiling, which shouldn't be the case, because I really liked what Sarah did in Silver Flames, right? And it's just not there, especially because there's no balance, right? They don't have, or they don't share any intimate conversations with each other, except like every time this happens you're just having sex every time they're alone together, and even the sex is just mentioned in passing as well, as if like we were wondering, oh no, what did they do last night? Like, we don't care, you don't have to mention that, oh, Hunt exhausted her last night. We get it, okay? And also there have been many scenes where their friends have gotten hurt, or like if their friends were in trouble and they just got to know about it, what do? All they do is have sex right after. Like, your friends are hurting, your friends are in trouble, your brother is in trouble, your brother is hurting, and you just off having sex. The scenes are just so scattered and they don't make sense. Some of them are like, they don't have to be there, and it's just very sad because I would have really liked the smut. And the other part is Danica. Like, she is such an important character in this book that we know nothing about. We absolutely know nothing about Danica, and it's all secrets and lies just popping up, and she's basically the one who turns out that is very concerned about who's out there and where did the veneer come from, like when did the Northern Rift happen, how did the hysteria come, like all those questions. It's Danica asking, and Danica is off page. She died in the first book in like 3 chapters, and somehow she's the most important person in this book, and she's the one who has left all these breadcrumbs, and I don't do that. It would have been nice to know who this person is, but no, she's just, and there was a line which kind of solidified what I thought, is that, can't remember, somewhere it said like Bryce was thinking that is so Danica. That's the line, right? And I was thinking to myself, wow, that would have been really nice if we as a reader could say that too. If Bryce didn't say that and something happened and this was real, and if we had known about Danica enough, I wish I could have gone like, oh, that's so Danica. Like, we already know who this character is, so we know that she would do something like this. But that's not there. And so Bryce to say that's so Danica is just, it would have been nice for us to be clued in what's going on about this character, but no. And then of course Rune and Day and Daybright turning out to be Lydia, which again, I think Sarah did put these clues in for us to figure out, so I'm not surprised, because I kind of, after like that scene with Pollux and the Hind, and then Daybright being forced to like have sex with other people, like I figured it might be Lydia because of like the timeline. When it was real, it's good. And for me, like, I honestly don't care about spoilers, because I don't believe spoilers are what makes a good story. It's a nice shock factor, but I care more about the story. So I know how this book ends, so that's why I'm excited to read it. That's why I picked it up. I wouldn't have done it otherwise. yeah, but let's talk about the ending once I finish the book. Yeah, Ruin and Daybright, I still like them. I like how complicated their relationship is gonna be now that Daybright is Hind and Hind killed Sophie, right? So it's a lot of, their relationship has a lot of stakes, and that's what I like, that's what I want to read about. So I will finish this and give you like a full update. And also it would be much simpler and much more interesting if Declan is an AI, you know, and not a real person, because he doesn't feel like a real person. And Bryce, why? Bryce is literally tapped out from all the teleporting and just exhausted and weak, and she still has the balls and coming up with these quippy remarks, you know, just you're like about to die, and she could be saying something like, well, at least like look cool doing it. No, Bryce again doesn't sound like a real person. And then you have this whole world, right? I kept saying that this technology doesn't make sense in the world, and the more I thought about it, the less it makes sense, because if these people have magic, if this veneer and these, there are so many creatures in this world that have magic, that uses magic, who can fly, who can summon lightning, who can do so many things, why do you need technology? Like, technology is something that evolves for humans to complete tasks that they couldn't. So it's the same with the Wizarding World, why the Wizarding World is very ancient and people haven't really evolved in terms of like technology, right? They're still writing quills. So I was thinking, like, why do the veneer need this technology if they have all these powers, if they're born with them and they're immortal? So that's why it makes sense. It makes no sense, and they never explain why this technology is there. It's just there. That's my whole point. That's my whole problem with this world, is that it's just a very convenient setting for these characters to exist, and just doesn't make sense even within the world why this technology is there. And I hope to God nothing happens to Rowan, because he's the only thing that's making me want to read this book. Hello, Bryce Quinlan. My name is Crescent. That's a really nice way to end it. Okay, out of all these chapters, that's the one I enjoyed the most. I got a little misty because Cassian and Nesta showed up, and then Reese and Farah, even though I'm not particularly big fans of them, it's so weird to have that familiarity in this book, you know. I was so done with these characters. It's such a breath of fresh air to see all of them, Azriel and Amren and Cassian and Nesta. I love this line. Hello, Bryce Quinlan. My name is Reesan. Oh wow, that is amazing. That is amazing. I knew they would show up. I didn't know they were all going to show up, actually. I only knew that Reesan is going to be there because I knew the crossover was a thing, but that's all I knew. And yeah, this is a really nice chapter, especially how Bryce meets like Azriel and the knife and the sword. They're of course like the twins. I was so sure that I would not pick up the next book. I was so sure that this ending is not gonna make me wanna continue reading. Okay. First of all, I get the hype. I understand why this book is like such a whirlwind, and that is solely because of the last chapter and nothing else. Because if that chapter didn't exist, this book wouldn't be what it is. Like, it wouldn't have the conversations surrounding it, right? But that is to say that you can't say that it's a good book because of that last chapter. That chapter was good. It was a page turner. I don't know if it was caught on camera, but I was smiling because the characters, even without their names, I knew who they were because of like the previous series. And I'm definitely more of an Akata fan than CrescentCity because, oh, you know why. If you've been watching this video for like till now, then you know why. It doesn't make up for like a good book. It makes up for a good chapter. So I'm definitely giving this like 2 stars. I would have given this 1 star, but I think the last chapter bumped it up to 2 stars because it was good. And that's saying a lot because if you need people from like another series to make this book entertaining, then there's something like severely wrong with the plot and the characters in this book. So yeah, definitely 2 stars. I happened to see like a video of Sarah did, I think it's the only interview that she did, where she talked about like the spoilers, and she happened to mention that the next book that she's gonna publish is the 3rd book for this and not Akata. And I don't know if she's gonna surprise us and like release Akata first, but yeah. So technically in the 3rd book for CrescentCity, it's gonna pick up right where we left off. So that means we're gonna see what happens right after Rizan introduces himself. So I'm definitely gonna read it because I want to know what happens. And also I like this Asteri whole plot line of them feeding off on like different worlds. It makes sense for the worlds to cross over now. It's not just because it's fan service, right? There's actually a plot which requires more than just one world to fight off like such a massive entity like the Asteri. It's the same way with Avengers and Thanos. You know, you need like a big ass bad guy for like everybody in like the Marvel universe to come together. So it's very similar to that, and I think that's her inspiration to this because it feels very superhero-ish. So I like it when things cross over, but I don't know how it's gonna go because I think I was very confused as soon as I read it, and Amran says that I haven't heard this language spoken in 15,000 years, because I would assume that Bryce went back in time, but no, she actually like traveled to a different universe. So it's a parallel universe where it's happening at the same time, but this is one of the worlds where the Asteri was kicked out. I like that plot reveal, but that plot was not in this book, so this is something to look forward to. And what happened in this book is, yeah, it's very disappointing and I'm not a fan, but unfortunately I'm going to read the other book because I'm more interested in that now, and I don't know how that's gonna go, but I hope it's better and it's more explosive and more action-packed than this one, and it has a point to the whole story. But that is it for this vlog. I'm going to cue the outro now because it's very long. If you're still here, you're the real MVP. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. This is such a long video, and I never normally do this, but I'm just curious at this point because this is the longest video I've ever made. So if you did make it through, and if you made it this far to this video, please leave a comment so that I know that you watched till the end. Just leave like the half moon, you know, the half moon emojis of like the CrescentCity. So leave that, and that is it for this video. Please know that these are all my thoughts and my feelings. You are allowed to like this book, you are allowed to love this book. I like it. I like watching vlogs where people enjoy the book a lot more than I did, because clearly I had very different thoughts to a lot of people. So feel free to pick it up. I would still recommend this book to a lot of people because I feel like it's something that a lot of people can enjoy and will enjoy. And I hope you like this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, because I do make videos every Sunday and the occasional video on Tuesday. So if you want to see more of this, please subscribe, and I'll see you again very soon with a new video.